So, welcome everybody to my channel, the Wisdom Conversations. We're going to get started with a wonderful spiritual conversation. I just put a message out to the universe and Facebook and about my intention to create YouTube and do a video for this channel. And look who's here with us. This is Sheila. She just responded right away, and here we are, Sheila.
Hi, Joe. I'm so excited you're up to this. You have this and you have three other channels I just learned just before this. This was like literally minutes ago, folks, that we came together and here we are.
We just met. I followed the formula. Basically, for any of you guys who don't know, we're going to be talking a little bit about Bashar. So he's a spiritual teacher that comes through a channel named Daryl Anka. So some of the terminology you might hear from us, we're from the Bashar kind of teaching. And so, anyways, in the Bashar, when you follow your excitement, that's when things manifest. And
Yeah,
it just I'm just like, wow, this synced up really well. So,
yeah.
um,
The for folks, it's I'm sure you'll put links in your description, but it's like bashar.org and it's a way to find them online. And then um, really I've noticed it's the acting. So the acting on your highest excitement, it's actually kind of a little paragraph, but it's a formula which he says is kind of they the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Like no matter what your question could be, what you might want in your experience, or how you might want to feel, kind of the same thing. Says follow the formula. So as I know it, and I'm open for whatever adjustments here, but act on your highest excitement, moment to moment, um, to the best of your ability, without any insistence on a particular outcome, and regardless of whatever the outcome is, remaining in a positive state because everything can serve us. So I've really been working on taking more dramatic action. Like I'm wondering, is liking something enough of an action, or maybe typing a message? Like what is a big enough action? So I'm stepping out. Like it feels kind of funny, but to act on things, which is why I wrote the comment. That's how started the conversation, and then without insistence, I was like, I don't know. Hope if this is meant for me, there'll be this positive synchronicity of an unfolding. So I'll just do it to the best of my ability, which means writing to him, writing to you, Joe, and seeing what comes back and seeing how that feels and seeing if it's still exciting or if something else has popped up in my experience that's more exciting. So not putting conditions on it, just doing the best you can. And then whatever it comes to, remaining in a positive state. So then, Joe, when you asked me would I be available now, I was like, well, yes, technically I am available now, but I wanted to, like, I don't know, fuss with my hair and do what I don't know, whatever silly things I wanted to do. Then I felt really ready. I said, "You give me a few minutes," and here I am. So I found then taking whatever the outcome is, because it seems like a positive outcome. Yes, available now. But then I had to, oh, this is good, this is good, this is good. It'll be just a few minutes. I can go ahead and ask for the few minutes, and
yeah,
then and we can go ahead and do it. And then it opens up all sorts of synchronicities. I've just really come to trust, and I'd be interested to hear you've had this experience too. Um, like I like having the terms positive synchronicities and negative synchronicities. So positive
sure.
synchronicities to me seem like the Matthew McConaughey green lights. All right, like things just go and it's all right. And then, but
Yeah,
negative synchronicities are like my internet is down and I dropped my phone and why? And some of you feel cursed or something for the day. And I really like having this framework to put it into, to be like, oh, you're not in alignment with what you want right now. So you're trying to put me, speaking to myself about myself, like if I'm trying to push to make something happen, oh, I really want contact. And I've had some experiences with sightings and things, but I would like to be, hey, nice to meet you, and great ship you have here. I'd like to be having that kind of conversation. And but if I feel I'm pushing it, then that's when now I have a term negative synchro. Oh, okay. And I can pivot to act on whatever's exciting. And then when it's easy and free flowing, then that's what is available to me right now and do the best I can with
Yeah.
it. You know?
We love the, yeah, for sure. I love what you're saying. And just to kind of backtrack a little bit
Mhm.
about what you shared so perfectly on the formula. I love that I love that we're talking about this too, because this is pretty much the central message to the spiritual
Yeah,
teacher is a very simple, powerful tool that he's given us is basically follow your bliss.
yeah,
They use the word excitement, but it's really synonymous with just follow your heart, follow your bliss, do
right,
what you
right.
feel is your happiness, your joy, and in doing that, it attracts to you everything you need.
That's what
And
I just want
we
to, can I insert something right in there? Because you brought up a beautiful point that sometimes I forget about because I'm an enthusiastic game show host, excited kind of person, extrovert like that. And then, but excitement can also be focused attention, interest. Um, I can't think of the other words, but I have an idea that you might have them. But it can kind of show up as different things. You could be working on kind of E equals MC squared, whatever that, type of thing, and be lost in time and space. And that is exciting. Doesn't have
Mhm.
to be that anyone else looking at you would see that it's something exciting to you.
Right, I love that. So even just being in a very peaceful state
Mhm,
or just doing something you enjoy, it doesn't have to
mhm.
be like skydiving necessarily, right? It can
Right,
be
right, right.
any sort of what would you say, positive vibe, maybe a love experience or
Ooh,
peaceful experience. Like
sounds
those are,
nice.
yeah,
Yeah, a flow.
the all right type of energy.
Yeah, I have a flow. I have the idea of like a flow state when you're whatever gets you like whatever you almost can't not do. You start to do it and then maybe self-doubt or whatever negative, false beliefs kind of creep in. And depending on what you're paying attention to, you could get distracted from I can't really help myself from starting on this, whatever it is, reading the book or signing up for the workshop or, you know, but and then when I think when you're in it, when you're nothing else seems everything else fades away. And it's okay that everything else fades away. Because I think I've heard
Yeah.
from Bashar the quote that whatever doesn't get done at the end of the day didn't need to get done. So when you're really following your heart rather than the opposite would be, because sometimes it's good to give like non-examples, like what wouldn't be it. So if I'm following my anxiety of I better hurry up or a scarcity mindset, a false sort of scarcity mindset, and then I get those negative synchronicities, things are hard. And then I think, well, I'm an American. It's okay when things are hard. I just power through it. And sometimes
Yes, keep
yeah,
bulldozing through it.
yeah, sometimes I miss it, but it sounds like you have a much more heart-centered, I have a feeling you would catch on to that sooner, and be like, oh, that's, what am I doing? Because we can act on things. So the opposite of acting on your excitement, your focused interest, or your heart would be doing it out of fear or anxiety or scarcity or fear of missing out or
Mm-hmm.
looking stupid or whatever. If it's any one of those things, you're probably getting negative synchronicities because you're
Right.
putting out this kind of chaos energy, I think. And so you're going to get back this thing.
Exactly. Yeah, because one thing about Bashar is it's law of attraction is one of the teachers out right now that really expresses the law of attraction. So
Mm,
basically, when you whatever energy you are putting out to
right.
the universe gives, this is the idea, gives you a reflection back. So that gives you information about how you can reorient. Like when you're following your joy, the universe is going to really reflect that back to you, but it also will reflect back to you the mirror of things that are also connected with that, the negative beliefs that may be attached to you,
Mm,
that you need to work through as well. So the
right.
universe is this wonderful mirror about um, giving you this information to that if you get off course, you get a
Right.
reflection back and be like, instead of like you said, just, oh, let's just power through it. it can be good to like look at those reflections and say like, okay, the mirror is showing me something where I may be getting off track here. Let me think about this, and maybe I can use the information to maybe reorient back into my true excitement and get into that flow state, right? You mentioned the flow state we want.
Right. It sounds so good when you say it. I'm thinking it sounds like you're attracting a level of, you know, it's interesting. I'm sure you'll attract a broad mix of people who have been, have been around or interested in certain authors, like you mentioned, and some people new to it that are just living a happy life, but for some reason are attracted to this information. And so they're happy, but they want more. They want a sense of control over it or something. So because sometimes what the Abraham Hicks folks at abrahamhicks.com, another channeler, Esther Hicks, channeling the beings, Abraham, sometimes say that when people first learn this, the idea that everything is a reflection of how they feel, how they're feeling, it's empowering, but then it can be very off-putting or scary or mixed because you're thinking, why did I torture myself with that relationship or that car that failed or why would I do health? Why would I do these things to myself? And I think everybody goes through that a little bit. And what I like to do is, for me, it resonated with me right away. I'm like, okay, I didn't know, I just thought I was a lucky person before. And I just tried to do the things and have the processes I just sort of naturally had. But I didn't mind taking responsibility for whatever I attracted because I felt like, well, I just didn't know. So I didn't know. Well, now I know. And so now I'm going to go forth and I like being in the driver's seat. That's what I like about these teachings
The
is I
driver's, yeah.
like the idea that if I don't like what does Bashar say about the reflection in the mirror and smiling? What's that one?
So like yeah, going back to Bashar, like he's saying like what you give out is what you get back, and reality is like a mirror. So if the mirror is not smiling,
Hmm.
then
Yeah,
it's not about trying to like expect the mirror to change.
right,
It's when you change,
right.
when you
Yeah.
smile, then the reflection changes. So I think that's similar to what maybe the driver's seat's kind of a Abraham, I think.
Oh, really? It's all blend.
No, it's okay. I love
I should
Abraham
come with
too. Like,
footnotes.
um,
It's
but
probably
but
all very
I think
blended for
that
me.
that works too. Like the driver's seat, putting you back in the place of the one who's smiling, or the one who's sending
Yeah,
out the energy. It comes back to you, or from my perspective, from me. But from
right,
everybody,
exactly.
it comes through you.
Right.
So be in your own joy, and then secondarily, the reflection outside will change.
And I'm sure lots of the folks that are going to be watching this will have lots of stories and they'll want to connect with you and share all sorts of stories or spiritual topics. And for anyone new listening to this, I would encourage them just to try it, just like you might try anything. Just try this idea of, if I can get myself as happy as I can be and then take action and then see what I get back. And I have no doubt that they will have experiences and it's our own experiences that really, what does Abraham say? It's our own experiences that really teach. Words don't teach. So you can kind of hear it, and it's either something new to kind of take action on, maybe, or it's a place to put what you've already experienced. Like, oh, I remember that day I was in a really good mood, and I was driving down the road, and I didn't notice any of the potholes, and it was pretty, and then, oh, I remember that day I was in a bad mood, and then I was stuck in traffic. Yeah, maybe there's something to it. Um, so I try to tell myself every day. I remind myself of this Rumi. I don't know if you heard of the poet Rumi, Rumi.
Mhm.
I think Wayne Dyer used to quote him a lot, and
I know him too. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure we have a lot of similar. Our libraries would be very similar, or else we
Sounds
probably
like it.
wouldn't have meshed up for this conversation. But I'm not sure if it's the whole poem or just part of it, but fall in love, stay there. And sometimes I
I
just
love it.
remind myself my intention for the moment or for the day. I like to do Abraham Hicks says segment intention, like when I'm leaving the house or when I'm getting in my car or when I'm starting a new event, opening a door, going into a place. I like to remind myself of, if I was in love, if I was in love, we've all seen it portrayed in movies. Everybody wants to play with a happy baby. I mean, the universe, when you're in love, you're like a happy baby, and the universe just shows up in people and synchronicities and all these things. And if you're a cranky baby, you know, so I try to reset myself with that, fall in love, stay there. Like, what can I do right
Mm,
now to look out in appreciation, to just appreciate my own body, my own health, my own breathing, to kind of get myself back into that state. And then, because I feel like I think Abraham Hicks has said this, that we want to, often people want to help others, like in the RA material, they talk about service to self and service to others, kind of different ways to look at things. And it's almost like you need to be a little bit service to self, or you have to have something, you have to be drinking to be able to pour out. You have to be
mm.
drinking in, you have to be filling yourself up so you have something to pour. I don't know why I'm gesturing like I'm a little teapot, but I have to have some tea in me
Yeah.
to give out
Yeah,
to
I like
others. So I
totally.
like to fill myself up because I have a feeling I came to this experience to strengthen that service to self. Maybe making it up. Because I have a very strong service to others. When you asked if I was available now, I want to say yes. You're available now. It's something you're excited about. It's something I've already said I'm excited about to have these conversations. But then I was proud of myself for taking a few minutes, 20 minutes or whatever it turned out to be. I said, I need a minute, I need a few. And that's me sort of
Yeah.
flexing into the service to self. But the beautiful thing about being in a state of love, I think you just can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. You tapped into a lot of really good in points in this conversation, and I love that we're bringing up different spiritual teachers here too, which is such a great thing for this channel because my intention here is to bring up a lot of different conversations, different teachers, and it's interesting how we can see some things that carry over between teachers, like Abraham Hicks. You mentioned about really, I think, being in that state of love or something. And one thing about them that I really hear is once you get into that state, like milk it, like really
Yeah,
feel it. Like if
yeah,
you
good
can
point.
get yourself into that feeling, whatever it is.
Hmm.
Maybe it's just eating some cookies, or
Right.
maybe it's giving someone a hug. Like stay in that feeling,
Hmm.
because that feeling that feels good um, is a powerful energy in itself, a magnetic energy, which attracts more on that wavelength. So if you can get yourself into a state of feeling good, however it is, like if you like jumping around or
Yeah.
whatever it is, like get yourself into a state of joy or play,
Yeah.
what it is, um, that's what is going to get you into a wavelength, which it's going to re- attract all the things that are on the similar wavelength to your
Right.
joy.
And it feels
So,
good. It
and
feels
it feels
good.
great. Like,
And and you don't need anything, but you get everything. You feel so
yeah,
good you don't need anything.
like how great are these spiritual teachers we got? Like Bashar. I mean, he's basically telling us do what feels joyous, do what feels
Right.
good, do
Right.
what you want to do, and things are
Yes.
going to be taken care of.
Right.
And like Abraham Hicks, like look what they're telling us.
Mm.
This messenger is telling us um, be in those states where you feel good,
Right.
and
Right.
everything's being this, and then you can just get into a state of allowing. So
Mhm.
how great are these teachers? They're just telling us to have fun and feel good and
Yeah.
play, and they're telling us that's um that's spirituality. Like
Right. Right.
that's like an ultimate spiritual teaching. Just
Because
feel
that's
good
for
and play.
I know they say it like that. I like it. That should be your feel good and play, tagline or whatever.
Yeah.
Feel good and play. That the idea being, right, that we can be, you could just be an example of the light of somebody who sort of forgot their light. And you and I wouldn't be examples for everybody on the having the earth experience, right? Only people within a certain bandwidth. So you can only sort of, otherwise, people seem annoying, or they seem too happy, or people just can't connect with them. But if there's somebody that's close to your bandwidth that you can use as like a permission slip, then that's all we can be, is then to continue that process is to, by being that role model. If we decide to, what is it? I think Marianne Williamson wrote that speech about not putting our light under a bushel, not hiding our own light, that really we need to be shining our light, but it's not
Shining
to
our light,
the,
yeah.
not to the disservice of others. It's to show others it's possible. And if anybody, sometimes I had this one woman I used to go to meetups with, and she once asked me, because this is how I am all the time. Like there's never a letting my spiritual hair down. I don't know if it's like, um, I speak about things I want and look forward to. So I'm mindful of my speech. I'm I'm supportive of others. And this woman said she was having sort of off, kind of hit a little speed, was having a, I don't know, wherever on the emotional scale, maybe a little cranky, irritated, or wherever, which everybody flows up and down through the spiritual scale, like
Totally. Yeah.
where we might be from powerlessness to bliss and joy. We're somewhere around that. I just like to stay, and Abraham Hicks has that emotional scale. So I like my worst feeling to be content. I'm working on that. Because content is a little boring, but boring is actually below that. Content is you're happy with what is, and then there's all wonderful emotions above that. So this woman, she took my response and she said, "Do you ever have a negative thought?" She delivered it kind of strongly, and we were friends. We were going to a law of attraction meetup, and I took it in, and I just sort of laughed, and I said, "Probably not what you would consider a negative thought, but what I would consider a negative thought." So I gave her an example. I said,
Oh,
I might
right.
have a
Okay.
thought like, how was I being so that she said that statement? Who was I being in that moment? Was I really being loved? Maybe I was. And maybe she felt that cognitive dissonance. Maybe it felt like something she couldn't reach. So she felt powerless. So a good way to feel better when you feel powerless is to get a little angry and get a little irritated. So she was just, lifting herself up from having a momentary forgetfulness of she's really this love and light being. I might wonder, was I the most loving I could have been to myself included? I said, so I don't know if those are the kind of negative thoughts you're talking about, but I'm not sure you would. And she was like, yeah, I wouldn't consider those negative. I said, that's okay. I'm just letting you know my side of it. And I like
Right.
the the play idea. I was thinking when you said to keep acting on what might be your excitement next. And children do that all the time. When you're ever around a child, they want to be, I'm looking for something. I don't have anything. Oh, here. They'll have something fun around them and they'll be playing with it. And then they'll get like, oh, okay, bored with that. And they'll be like, okay, I need a piece of paper. I'm an artist now. I'm drawing now. Okay, done with that. Okay, now I'm playing beauty parlor. They
Yeah.
are on, they like Gary V. Do you know Gary Vanderchuk?
That sounds very familiar. You might have to refresh me a little bit.
Gary V. I have some crossover into like the Tim Ferriss, Gary V. sort of entrepreneurial space with authors.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about now.
And he tries to encourage people to, it's very, I think, spiritual, but he says like, he tries to encourage people to take action. And he says, on their dreams, he says, a crack
Oh.
addict isn't waking up this morning, or fill in the blank, whatever addict isn't waking up this morning thinking, well, I don't have any crack and I don't have any resources, so I guess I won't have crack today. that person who's addicted to whatever is going to get whatever it is they want. They're going to find a way. They're going to be resourceful. They're going to trade. They're going to whatever. He said, don't let someone that is not living their
Interesting
best
analogy.
life
Yeah.
out hustle you. So if you want to be happy, look around like a kid would look around. They are on the hunt for, I'm going to be an artist. Now I'm going to be doing physical activity. Now I'm going to be, look, I'm a singer. This is a microphone, la, la, la. I like getting in touch. I like when you talk about play, reminds us to get more in touch with the child that's within us, we have access to all the time, and to be selfish enough to do what lights us up from moment to moment to moment to moment.
Yes, definitely. The child is such a great uh, the child naturally does kind of just follow its own guidance, right? It wants to play with this, it wants to play with that. It and as adults, I think that's a good like symbol or archetype we can look into about where our inner we all have still have that inner child, like you
Yeah,
said, that naturally just wants to play or just to follow its natural instincts, its heart, whatever it is. And I think that's a good way to look at the Sasani, which are
yeah.
from the Bashar teaching, are very childlike. They're very
Hmm.
childlike in their civilization, and they pretty much just follow their excitement, whether
Yeah,
it's play or whether it's
right.
who knows what they do in their civilization. But the child is a good energy symbol of
Mm,
that natural following of joy that we can tap into.
that's beautiful. Well, this
Yeah.
was fun and playful for me. We talked about a wide range. I know I'm also interested in contact. We didn't talk, I guess I'm trying to first connect with trying to figure out, Joe, a way to tie it together. I want to connect with my playful self and then connect. We can have another conversation about connection because I have seen, I guess, UFOs or UAPs. Twice, my husband and I saw them together, so I had a witness, which is kind of nice when you want to build your confidence about it. Am I really seeing this? And then once just by myself, and they were confirmed by Bashar, but really, I look at Bashar as just a reflection of my higher knowing. So it's not like I'm really looking outside myself, if that makes sense, for validation. But yeah, we could always have another conversation that might be just about contact, if that would be interesting to you, or whatever. I'd be happy to. I appreciate being able to talk with you. I'd be happy to talk with you about any topic you'd like to talk about anytime in the
Yeah.
future.
I so appreciate you for just like responding and coming on here. This is so
Yeah,
amazing.
you're up to
Guys, I
things.
just put like a post on Facebook like an
Yeah.
hour ago. We'd never
Oh,
met before, or maybe a couple hours ago or something. We never met before. We didn't even really talk much before coming
no,
on here. And she's
no,
just like ready to go,
I'm
ready
in.
to kind of share information, help me out, and just get into a
Well, because
conversation with us.
yeah,
So
but that's good. That's because the way I see you, Joe, it's easy. When I saw that there was a meme that you posted, which was significant to me about dreams and how Bashar had said you might experience a change in your dreams when you're close to contact, and which is something I'm really looking forward to. And I had a change in my dreams, but I didn't really look at the byline who posted it. I didn't have your name in my mind yet. So when I looked back, when we connected, then that kind of hit me like a wave. And I was like, that's the guy that posted the meme that was so meaningful to me. And then I got to
oh,
know you a little bit more and watch a couple of your videos. And I really see you as a spiritual Joe Rogan. You're Joe, you're like the spiritual Joe in this space. You're your own, you have Lightner. What a great name. Like a bringer of the light or lightning. So yeah, I think you're gonna be up to big things. And so yeah, it made it easy to want to connect.
well, so thank you so much for just starting off this thing, the
Yeah,
wave or whatever here on this channel, and
yeah.
get the ball rolling. That's so perfect you came on here, and there's so much things to cover, guys. There's so many things to talk about. We brought up different stuff, and um, we could totally get into more of these topics. They're so fun to talk about and to share with others. So thank you so much for coming on here, and
Thank you.
definitely, if you want to do another one of these types of things here and share more, we can totally connect more. And also, anybody else out there who's interested in doing something like this, where you want to talk and have a conversation about a spiritual topic, doesn't have to be law of attraction, doesn't have to be Bashar. I'm interested in sharing a large range of information, perspectives, and we can gain something from everyone's perspective. So if you have enthusiasm to share, just reach out to me and we can have more of these conversations. Okay, so yeah, anything else you want to say, Sheila? I feel like that was really perfect. I appreciate you
That's
so much.
awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we,
Thank you
we've got
so
to
much.
go. Good job.
Yay,
And
that maybe is a good place to end. If you're complete, I'm complete.
yeah, thank you guys.
Okay.
And subscribe, like, subscribe, and continue. There's going to be lots more cool stuff. So thank you, Sheila, everybody. Bye.